Emergencies. Philadelphia Immunization Program. Preparing your home for every season. Personal preparedness to stay healthy. Engaging faith-based and community organizations to consider planning for emergencies. This and more is going down and will be discussed live on Island Vibe Philly Caribbean Station. www.islandvibe.net. Every Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Rising Hope for Change presents a community conversation on Public Health Preparedness Program hosted by Reverend Daniel H. Lindor, September 1st through October 31st. Open discussions and insights on heat warnings and other public health emergencies. Philadelphia Immunization Program, preparing your home for every season. Personal preparedness to stay healthy. Engaging faith-based and community organizations to consider planning for emergencies. This and more is going down and will be discussed live on Island Vibe Philly Caribbean Station. www.islandvibe.net. Every Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Rising Hope for Change presents a community conversation on Public Health Preparedness Program hosted by Reverend Daniel H. Lindor, September 1st through October 31st. Open discussions and insights on heat warnings and other public health emergencies. Philadelphia Immunization Program, preparing your home for every season. Personal preparedness to stay healthy. Engaging faith-based and community organizations to consider planning for emergencies. This and more is going down and will be discussed live on Island Vibe.
Good night, everyone. Welcome back to Community Health on Island Vibes Radio. I am joined by Reverend Daniel, and I'm your host, Tom Wilson. We'll be speaking about preparedness for the winter this evening. Reverend Daniel, how was your week?
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's a wonderful moment again this evening, and we are excited to join you wherever you are in your comfort zone, hearing us. Maybe you are in your living room, maybe you are, in your vehicle. Wherever you are this evening hearing us, we want to welcome you. My name is Pastor Daniel Linde. I'm the Executive Director for Rising Hope for Change, and we are excited to continue to provide information to our community and how we can continue to live healthy, how we can continue to promote health within our community. And so it's a pleasure meeting you again wherever you are hearing us and seeing us or watching hereafter. Thank you for joining again us tonight and taking your time to spend it with us. We cherish the moment and we appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's great to be back. And, this is one of those shows that it's more like a luxury because, you come in and you just relax with us, but it should be a necessity. It should be around all the time that we all speak about, health, community, not just community health, but connection, like connecting with your fellow community, just because we don't do that anymore. I mean, we rose up in a time where, you knew your neighbors, you could talk to everyone. Now, I don't even know who live next door to me. So we definitely need a community center, per se, like an online community center where we can meet and have these topics.
That's right.
So if you're listening out there, you want to say hi to us, say hi to us. If you have a question for us, do that. We're talking about being prepared. We're still in the winter season, and believe it or not, it had snow. It's Saturday? I didn't even know it snowed. I got a phone call saying you didn't see outside. It's big snow. I didn't even know. But you definitely need to be prepared. For those of us who work from home, we take for granted that you still need to be prepared. You still need to have the right boots. You still need to, shovel your driveway.
Oh, yeah, you struck the main point. Shovel your driveway. it's bad too, right? Like
Right.
it's cool, it's all there, and the worst of all, you are not prepared to get in the cold. No gloves, no what is it? You know,
Some
you
of us
don't
don't even have a shovel to shovel snow.
uh-huh.
It's not good. And again, like I didn't even know it snowed, so my driveway wasn't shoveled or anything like that. I got a phone call, and I'm very, very fortunate that we live in a duplex. So it's one driveway, common driveway that we use. So my neighbor shovels mine, but I need to be really I need to get more aware of that stuff, when it's going to snow, when it's not going to snow. And again, more people work from home than before, so had I had to go out every day to work, I would know, or be prepared for that, but I don't. So because we work from home, we definitely still need to be mindful and aware.
Yeah, yeah. And so we are almost there. I believe winter ends March 19. And so we almost getting there. Today the 19th. One more month. Can you imagine? One more month for winter to go over, right? For us to
But
say,
then sometimes there's still snow in spring too. I've been here for a couple of springs where it had, some snow. Like just because it turns March 19, that doesn't mean we're quite out of the woods. So we still need to be vigilant.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm excited for the spring, man. Like very, very, very excited.
Oh yeah, I love spring and the beautiful flowers and all the like. But on the overall, in the next 1 month, we don't know the level of maybe hazard that are gonna come around in terms of winter. Like today, I was just looking at the news alert on my phone, like the entire California is placed on alert with flooding, possibility of flooding around. And just last week, Tuesday, we had snow. And then at some point during the course of the week, we did have snow again. So it looks a little bit safe yet, but you never tell what will happen. So it's important that we always get ready, we always be prepared. You are always ready to ensure that you are not short of the basic necessities that you need to keep you warm, but also to keep you sustained if anything will happen during the course of this 1 month we have left for winter.
Reverend, let me ask you a question. Do you ever test your water? Like, do you test your water?
Like what?
Like they said that we should be testing our water every month or so just to make sure the chemical content is low in it and make sure it's alkaline and stuff like that. I've just started because I'm aware of it, but we haven't been aware. And in the winter time, because there's snow and different things seeping into the water, you never know.
So here why it is. I try to, but in the city I'm in, to schedule, you will call the folks and they will
no, there's a kit. Like you just run the water on it and you put it in a container and it would let you know, just so if in case you do need to call the 60.
How about you share that information to our listening audience and not under me, so that everyone will know how important that is.
Right. It's not something we talk about. It's not something people say, but it's kits out there. When we go through the break, I'll try to find an Amazon kit, and you just put your water in the container, put the strip in it, close it up, shake it up, leave it for 5 minutes, and then the strip would read what's the balance of our water, if there's too much metal, too much this, if it's safe to drink, if it's not safe to drink. Like you get it's not expensive. I paid $22 for it. But apparently you're supposed to be testing your water every month or so.
Okay, every month. So listening audience, now you get that information. We're talking about health hazards. So every month, do your utmost best to ensure that you test your water. So do you want to talk more about, like, do you check, are you checking the water in your kitchen or in your sink or?
In your kitchen, regular pipe water. because sometimes if there's something, the city would tell you there's something that leaked into the water, but they don't always know, and you don't always know. And sometimes it's, if you live in an old house, like I live in an old house, some of our pipes are still made of iron, right? So you don't know what is really seeping into your water. So you should be testing your water regularly. I mean, we bathe with this water. Some of us don't drink it. Some of us do drink it. And even if you do not drink tap water, like just they say 20% of anything that hits your skin absorbs it. So you're supposed to be testing your water. Some people have eczema, some people have skin conditions, and maybe it's just your water.
Wow. Wow. Well, this is beneficiary for our listening audience, talking about testing your water to ensure that it's suitable for cooking, taking bath, and maybe if you are used to drinking it, you cannot, or we cannot overemphasize the importance of that, right? Because in school, a lot of things can, germs and all of those things. You want to make sure that you are having a healthy or safe water that you are utilizing, right?
Yeah, we take for granted today that our water comes from pipes. It didn't always. Like, people knew they had to test their water long ago because there would be bacteria and different things in the water. We take that for granted. Some houses have filters built into the basement where the water is coming through. And if your house have one of those, you're lucky, and just, keep up with the maintenance of it. But some of us don't. Some of us just get water straight from the city, and we take for granted that that may be contaminated. And even if that's contaminated from the city, we have old pipes, rust, different things can get in that water. We don't know. You can't really see it just like that.
That's right. And that reminds me, when you talk about water testing, it helps us to really, it is essential to ensure that we are very safe. And so whether it is drinking water, whether it's bathing water, whatever you using it to wash dishes, and you need to ensure that the water is safe. All right. And that's why we want to talk about that. And I appreciate that this came up about Ms. President tonight, to make sure that we can remind all of us as listening audience to take note of that. Because you see, what regular water testing, it helps us to identify any contamination, right, or pollution. And so we know that if pollution is present in the water, what happens? It poses health hazards to you, right? You take bath, your skin is itching. I remember when we were in Africa, and you take bath to certain stream that is contaminated or polluted, and you have some skin itches, so now this can resonate to our community, right? So all of us, that in the immigrant community, exactly what that means to use contaminated water, what it poses to your skin, and so forth. So you need to ensure that your water is safe and you are not using contaminated water, because if water is contaminated, it has bacteria, it got leaves, it got something I think they call arsenic, right? Arsenic.
Like, just even sometimes if the pH balance in the water, if we're not even, sometimes not even, contaminated, but if the pH balance of the water is off, it causes different things. Like sometimes just the metals in the water, like some of us having issues where our kidneys are not filtering, or liver is not filtering like they need to, not even thinking, well, we're drinking, metals in water because of industrial strength. The thing that they use to purify the water is the filters is industrial strength. There is chemicals in that. There is metals in that. And if it's not regularly changed, it gets into the water itself. We, again, long ago, we boiled water before we drink it. We were more cautious with our water because we know it could be contaminated. And being as we just get water from the tap now, when the city's supposed to take care of that, we take for granted that it could be, contaminated, or it just not right for us, some form, fashion. If you notice like you have too much dry scalp or dry skin, or anything like that, it's important to, you know, test your water. It could be something just as simple as testing your water. If you feeling tired sometimes, because if your kidneys or livers is not straining or filtering like it needs to, that, you know, you get exhausted. And it could be something as simple as there is metals in your water that's causing that.
And most importantly, if you're a homeowner, so know that it's your responsibility to ensure that you schedule the testing, to ensure that you are complying with the regulatory, right, bodies, like the local, maybe you are in a borough, maybe you are in a township. And so whatever you find in the municipality, right, wherever you find yourself, you are complying with the requirement that is set forth by the local authorities, whether it is a state, whether it's a local borough, the township, and so forth. So you want to make sure that you are in total compliance. And so if you have not yet, as a homeowner, done that, it's important that you do that. All right. And so what that helps, it helps you to be in compliance. Not only you being in compliance, but also it brings it helps you to avoid using any contaminated water, right? And so it also helps when you are in compliance and calling the regulatory body to help to do the testing, or maybe something that is guided for you to do. What that does is that it helps you to identify quickly any issues that is arising, right, that could pose health hazard onto you, right? You quickly pick that up. That's what it does to do regular testing. And so as homeowners, please do it. If you are renting, you want to check with your
Yeah, if even if I don't get it for you guys, it's a simple a water test kit, like simple. You can get that off of Amazon, Walmart, anywhere. It's simple. There's a pH one that just checks the pH balance in the water, and then there's the general water testing kit, and you can get it almost anywhere. And even if you don't want to do it everyone, to at least try to do it every end of season or beginning of season to try to get that done. Let's pivot a little bit. We are talking about water, and in the winter, I think we are the most dehydrated in the winter because it's not summertime where it's hot, where we want to keep drinking liquids.
Yeah, so, and you can see that I agree with that. We drink less during winter. As a matter of fact, yeah, I took note of that. With the consumption, like the way you buy water in the summer or the fall, you don't do that during the winter, right?
Right.
So,
and you need to be mindful of that. And even if you need to remind yourself to drink water, put a water sign on your fridge to just remind yourself to drink a little bit more water. And there's other ways we could get it in too. Like, I notice if I drink a bottle of water, I'll drink 16 ounces. But if I drink a cup of tea, it's a smaller cup of tea. You ever notice that?
But what I try to do, so one of the things I try to do to make sure that I am drinking more is in the winter. Now I don't drink cold water, so I like microwave my water or boil my water, put it in my or in my flask to ensure that it's hot. I'm drinking it. It keeps you drink a little more because the more you drink that, you get a little more thirsty. You know? And then it helps you to also like clean up your system more because the more you drink, the more you
cleanse. And you know, in the wintertime, we tend to drink hot chocolate. We're drinking hot teas with sugars and stuff like that. We drink a lot less just water in the wintertime. I try to remind myself, and I do it this way, and you find your own way to remind yourself. Every time I feed my son, I drink.
That's right. That's right.
So that's how I remember to drink, try to keep up with my hydration. Every time he feeds, I drink. So just little tips and tricks to remind us that, you know, like, and, you know, like if we're drinking more soups, more everything, like we should be, you know, we should be golden. And I do understand that we exert less energy in the winter, and that's why we don't feel like we need as much water. But hydration is not like water is not just for hydration. Remember, it still cleanses the body, cleans your liver, your kidney, clears your brain. Like it's a cleanser as well as a hydrator. So we have to keep remind ourselves to do that. And not to mention, we just got off the holidays, all the foods in our system, everything the body's trying to break down. We definitely need a lot more water in our system than we do in the winter.
Yeah, yeah. And so winter brings a lot, and why it is good, but also it got a lot of stress, right? Winter got a lot of stress, and sometimes you go to bed early, you wake up middle of the night, and you are wrestling to go back to bed. How do you deal with that? Sleep disorders and the cold and the light, right? So
let's touch on that sleep topic when we get back from our break. We have to take our break right now. It's halfway through our show, guys, and you're listening to Community Health with Reverend Daniel, and I'm Storm Wilson. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Broadcasting live from Philadelphia, Island Vibe, Philly's newest and hottest station.
You're listening to IslandVibes.net. All your hits banging right here. Philly #1 Caribbean station. Best in dancehall.
Undisputed champion. Heavyweight, world great. I the make Gaza celebrate.
Call the Uber. Call the Uber now. I am coming to ya.
Reggaeton.
Aún no parecen todavía. Viven en el siglo de la hombría. Que te arregla solo para ellos. Y que para tu hombre te maquilla.
Soca.
Love in my heart. Rum in the veins. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again.
And more. IslandVibes.net.
Calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for lockdown, oh lockdown. Yo, you sweet life, phantom. If I tell you say I love you, no day for me, young girl, oh young girl. No tell me no, oh, baby, gon' give me your lo. You got me like whoa. Gon' give me your lo. I see this fine girl from my party, she wear yellow. Every other girl they do too much, but this girl mellow. Now in my divine situation, I go use they tell I'm mellow. Finally I find way to talk to the girl, but she ain't no one follow. Who you gonna phone for one? When you know I come for one, then I start to feel a bum. She dey give me small one. I know, say she's a bit pass it down one. But she feeling insecure, cause her friends go they go my light ring go on.
Yeah, I know we look shy, but for you I get down low. And my hips make you cry when I'm moving around you. Do it once, do it twice. I push back, you hold me tight. Get a taste for a night. Baby, show me you can calm down. Dance with me and take the lead now. Got you so high that you can't come down. Don't you ask, you know you're allowed. When it's you, I can't say no. Baby, give me low. You got me like Shawty gon' give me a lo.
As I reach my house, I see me got a small wall. As me I wake up, now she did my mind don't walk. Day one, day two, one of you folk go was. I go down, so make we link go up.
Got my hand on your heart now, I can feel it race. If I leave, then you say you can never love again. Wanna give you it all, but can't promise that I'll stay. And that's the risk you take.
Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for lockdown, oh lockdown. Yo, you sweet life, phantom, phantom. If I tell you say I love you, no day for me, young girl, oh young girl. No, tell me no, 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 oh, 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 oh. Baby, come give me your lo, 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 oh, 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 oh. You got me like whoa, 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 whoa. Shawty, come give me your lo, 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 oh, 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 oh.
Welcome back to the Community Health with Pastor Danielle, and I'm Storm Wilson. Earlier, we spoke about making sure that your water is tested during the winter, well, any season really. We also talk about staying hydrated and getting enough water in your system. We are on to speaking about getting enough sleep. Pastor, you were saying sometimes you fall asleep early because it's getting darker early and then you wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I was talking about generally about the winter sleep disorder, which literally also I think they call it SAD, S-A-D, which literally means seasonal affective disorder, seasonal affective disorder, SAD, the short form, or they call it also winter depression, right? So it's a type of it's a type of mood in which you get a disorder that is characterized by depressive symptoms such as it occurred during the winter months, right? Like we are in now. And so what happened is that during this period, you have less natural sunlight. Because you have less natural sunlight, it causes you to go to bed soon, to retire to bed. Regardless of what you're doing, when you open your window and then you see how dark it is, you just want to retire to bed, right? And so what do we need to do, right? What are some of the symptoms, in fact, that you know that this is sleep disorder or seasonal affective disorder that you are going through now, right? So common symptoms that usually is around is that you find out that it includes the persistent feelings of sadness, right? Loneliness, sadness, everything is mute, everything is quiet in your ear. Then also it brings low energy levels to you. Okay, because you have this sadness that just engulf you, and then low energy clip over you, then you feel fatigue, like you are tired, and because you are tired, you now face some sort of difficulty in concentrating or concentration. Whatever you do in your mind is telling you, I need to go and rest. I need to go and sleep. So like it poses that form of disorderliness within you. And because it does that, what it also does is that it changes your appetite. And then sometimes because you are not doing the normal activities that keeps you active, so it causes you to either gain weight more, right? Irritability occur in you as well. So these are some of the things that people really face, okay, as a symptom. And on top of that, you also realize that there is an increased need for sleep. Like you went to bed and then you see your time is, you went to bed 6 or 7 o'clock, you wake up and you see your time 11 o'clock, and you know what, you try, no, I gotta go back to sleep. It's too early for me to wake up. So like, you know, an increased appetite of sleep now overtake you. And because that overtake you, So what else you gonna do? You're just gonna fall for it and do it, and then you see that your lifestyle change a little bit, because people who experience these symptoms, what happens? They do what we call the social withdrawal, right? You don't affiliate that much because you feel tired. Remember, you feel fatigue, you feel like you're low energy, you want to go back indoor and so forth. So all of these things take place. So you want to withdraw. They withdraw from social activities and they don't
Like you
get.
said, you're feeling a little bit pressure, you withdraw because of that. Activities, like we're not getting the level of dopamine that we usually get, because when we're outside we get a lot of that. So just lack of dopamine, you know what I mean? I mean, like we hear that word dopamine a lot, but it's usually like when we're talking about gamblers. But just being outside gives us that naturally. So when you're not getting that, I think that's when most depression sets in. You feel isolated,
That's right.
and you can't leave the house. So if you have a family that's a lot of noise all the time and you can't leave the house, that gets to you.
Mm-hmm. And the rest of it is that it causes people to lose the energy, right? The interest in the activities that they have loved, right? Because
You just want to crawl up in bed and watch TV all night, and by the time you finish, and there's the thing now called binge watching. Like we didn't have that when we were growing up, but you have one episode after the other. Before you turn around, it's the sun is coming up again. And you're tired because you didn't get enough sleep. You're irritated because you didn't get enough sleep. You're feeling like there's a lot of stuff that happens in the winter. So how do we go about preventing that or trying to help it? Like some of the things that we could do to get out of those winter blues.
Well, before you even talk about preventing, now we know the symptoms. Let's understand what causes that, right? So literally people think like there is no particular cause, like the exact cause or reason for that, right? And because there is no exact cause or reason for that, so what happens? It's still why people try to understand the root causes of this. It is believed.
There's several causes. I think one of them is, like you said, it's a lack of sunlight, so a lack of vitamin D, which leads to a lack of that dopamine levels that thrive on vitamin D. And dopamine, for anybody who doesn't know what it is, it's a chemical that's released in our brain that tells us something is pleasurable.
Correct. Yeah. So when I was talking about the causes and of that, those that are attributed, which I earlier mentioned, because saying there is no particular, so these are variables that they are attributed to sleep disorder. So we'll talk about the exposure, maybe like lack of exposure to sunlight, and we'll talk about those changes that occurred, your low energy level and so forth. So what happens? Because a lot of things changed during the course of this period. It changed the entire, your
whole mindset. It changes the way that you interact with yourself,
your reactions, your response to that. Because your mind is programmed already. Like, oh no, it's going to be cold. I'd rather not get out there. I'd rather stay warm. So sometimes it even worries people, right? It worries you, like, when is this cold going to get over? So especially when you are not used, for our immigrant community, you are not used to all of this, right? You are not used to it, and you're going to be in this for 3 months, 4 months. And
like there's a lot of factors. Another one is like the foods that we eat. We eat different foods in the summer than we eat in the winter, especially being as we're celebrating Christmas, because you go from Thanksgiving to Christmas to New Year's. It's a lot of celebratory, a lot of meats, a lot of fatty foods, a lot of cakes, a lot of sugars, a lot more than we consume in the summertime, or if any other time of the year period. We consume a lot of that in winter. Christmas cakes, like it's so much stuff that we consume in the winter that we normally don't, and all of that plays. All of those things contribute. So you want to be mindful of everything that you eat. Like in America, they have something called comfort food, and it's usually something called comfort food, and it's usually foods that's high in not just fat, but there's a word, carbohydrates. It's usually foods that high in carbohydrates, like pastas and rice and cook-ups that way. So not only are we taking a lot more sugar, we're not drinking as much water. Then we have holiday season, so people drink a lot more alcohol too in the winter than we do other times of the year. And then we're not physically active to burn that out. There's a lot of different things that contributes to the winter blues or the winter depression, like you call it, or sadness.
That's right. So the risks, it poses risks, and the risk factor for that is that, especially for people with some underlying conditions, like you have some health issues, it poses a risk to them. And so because of that, when people have pre-existing, for example, mental health conditions, right? When people have a history of depression, right? And also those depressive disorder, it puts people at a very high risk when it has to do with sleep disorder. And usually in terms of the diagnosis of it, basically, I think what they think is that winter sleep disorder is typically like diagnosed through evaluating the symptoms that you face. Like if you think like things is usually your posture is irregular, like you're doing things abnormal, like you oversleeping, the way you expect. All right, so it needs to be evaluated, it needs to be assessed, so that at least maybe you can discuss with your PCP to ensure that they can advise you properly on that, right? So that you are not getting addicted to something that will affect you for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, it's we definitely need to be more mindful of the things we do put our body through, because just because it feels more comfortable and that's what we want because we crave it, that doesn't mean it's what we're supposed to be doing. And just be mindful, and we don't have to give up everything. Just like I said, like drink an extra bottle of water for the day, the whole day, an extra 16 ounces, just to make sure that you're flushing your system out. Try to, work out, exercise, like I need to work on that a lot. Just try to move about a day. Put on a video and dance in the house, just to get your body moving so you could keep out of the winter blue. Take a walk. Sometimes that cold, fresh air is amazing. Like I came out it was a Sunday morning, and I went outside and the air just hit you and the wind was blowing. I was like, this, like you a long inhale, and it feels good and it smells good, and it's, we just need to be more mindful, because sometimes we do it subconsciously and we don't realize that's what we're doing. And do stuff that you enjoy. Like if normally during the winter time during the summertime you would talk to friends more, make it your business to reach out to people more instead of just curling up in a blanket. Just make it your business to have a conversation, even if it's 10 minutes with a friend. You don't know how just 10 minutes on the phone with a friend would lift your spirits.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometime, like, to get yourself out of that is you want to maybe get involved in some therapy, maybe minor exercises and so forth can help you to overcome some of these challenges. And of course, if we're going to talk about the way we can prevent it, while it may be true that there are literally no possible many ways to prevent winter sleep disorder, it's also important for us to take the necessary steps that are required of us, like ensuring that we are having enough sunlight, right? Like you mentioned, you're taking a walk, right? Taking a walk in a day or so, maybe just go in the store and take a walk. I'll let
Or,
you
you
go.
know, something as simple, park your car a little further and walk a little bit more to your destination and walk a little bit more back. Sometimes it's not even a prepared action that you need to take. Sometimes it is like me who work from home. I have to deliberately do something, but sometimes it's just a little bit more. Like I love donuts, not regular donuts, but you know those little Mexican donuts.
Yes.
So I go to the grocery. I don't order it for the last 2 weeks. I just didn't pick it up. So that it helps me out a little bit because we don't. Sugar is highly addictive, and we eat a lot more in the winter. Just small little things like that. You can't go wrong with helping, like stories, true story. So I believe I'm addicted to sugar. Like I have never thought about it before 2 years ago, but we did an evaluation on my eating habits and stuff like that. And this was when I was like, I'm what they call an old mom. Anytime you have a kid over 35, it's called a geriatric pregnancy. Which is crazy because
when you are over 35.
They legit put geriatric pregnancy on your paper.
Okay.
Which is crazy because 35 is not old. But and I'm 40, so it's definitely geriatric pregnancy. So they were testing you for everything on my sugar level, no diabetes, no high blood pressure, no anything. But we were talking about what do you eat in a day to sustain, and because I'm heavier than I'm supposed to be able to carry a child, and I'm having a geriatric pregnancy, so they're worried about complications. She's like, do you know you eat over 300 grams of sugar a day?
Wow.
I'm like, no. She's like, it's not that much, but it's enough to be that much. I'm like, okay. Just to put that in perspective, we're talking about 2 candy bars worth of sugar. Right? And on top of that, I am eating breads, which turns into sugar. I'm eating, rice, which turns into sugars. So without knowing it, I was loading my body up like that. Because I, have a smoothie and I eat a lot of salads and I eat, solid food, I'm thinking it's not a big deal. But I legit eat almost a dessert with every meal, which is crazy. And I tried to stop. I had the worst mood ever that week. And that's a good way to say that if you're addicted to sugar or not. It's the most addictive substance on the planet. And we take for granted that.
Okay.
If you don't eat candy, you don't eat, just cut candy out, sugars, like any sort of pasta, rice, try to eat salads or anything with all those amount of carbs for 1 week. And if you're in a bad mood after a day or two, that's to tell you how addicted you are to sugars and carbohydrates. Most people are not, but there are some of us who are, and we don't even know because it's such an everyday part of our diet, and we don't think we're, taking any illegal substance, so it's okay. And because we're getting a little fix of sugar every day, we do not know how addicted we are to it. So take that little test for yourself. Don't deliberately don't have any sodas, any juices, any candy, any of that. Have no bread for 2 days and see how you feel. If you feel horrible, that means you're just a little addicted to sugar. That's not something we want to be. And some people could do that and some people can't. I had to be mindful of that and really cut back the amount of candy and sugars and juice. And I don't even have juice in the house anymore, period.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to take note, because all those things affect our health, and these are all health hazards to our system, and that's why we must be aware of that. And so
I'm
as you,
having these conversations because people, generally, if we weren't preparing for the show or doing something like that, I wouldn't know half of the things that, comes up.
mm,
Like I didn't know the winter blues was a real thing.
mm, yeah. And maybe the last part I want to talk about is winter driving safety. Because we see the change that happen around us. You feel the snow, you feel the cold, you wake up and your vehicle is your windshield is all it's all clouded or fog, it got fog on it, uh
Mm-hmm.
and or snow on it. And sometimes you have to drive a couple of minutes before like it gets clear, especially if you didn't put your car on before, right? So that brings me, so winter driving safety. But before that, one other safety that I want to share tonight is that be watchful about car jackers, right?
But what?
Is it hikers? Is it hikers? Those that hack your car or that they take your
Or
steal.
hackers, scammers.
Yes, right. So I don't know the word they use. Is it carjackers or hackers? I don't know the word they
Or
use.
carjackers.
I
I
think
didn't
so. All
I
right.
didn't know
So
people
uh
sell black cars.
I was in one the Boros meeting a few days ago, and they were talking about, leaving your car on. You need to be watchful because people will come and steal it, take it away. Or even when you park your vehicle, make sure you lock your doors. So this, because it's cold, you're getting out of your car and then you are running in your home and then you forget to close your doors. Please make sure you lock your doors, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they are not breaking into your vehicle, okay? That they are not breaking into your vehicle. When you warming your car, make sure you don't leave any charge into the vehicle. All right. Just in case someone want make an attempt to rob you and to steal the car, they are not running away with your car. All right. So make sure that you, especially if you don't have the car that you start and then the doors are closed, if you have to leave the key in the ignition, make sure that you take precaution, your eyes are on it, right? So that you are not losing any valuables. Also, you are not losing him on your child in the car, because these folks, they are not merciful, right? When they get there, they want to get, they are coming with every force. So make sure you take note of that. Make sure you prevent theft, right? Do your utmost best to ensure that you mitigating the possible risks that are there. You mitigating them. So even as you're driving around, it's important to take note that, get your shovel, snow shovel, get your salt somewhere in the trunk. Make sure you get that, I don't know how to call it, the little stuff to make sure you clean the snow that on your windshields, and then so that you can clear the fog as soon as possible. Yeah, but it will be good that you take precaution so that you don't lose something.
Yeah, I never thought about it, like leaving your car on running and then somebody taking it away. That's a legit thing.
Yeah, and I can tell you, like, folks are not resting. They are not resting. They are
We are rested in the winter, they are not.
yeah. People take advantage. I never thought like in America they will be stealing like that too.
Why not? Like you see all those shows, I think there's still a lot less in the Caribbean, and I'm so wrong about that because I went home a couple of times and people like, don't wear your chain, don't wear this, don't do this, don't do that. I think it's everywhere. Like it doesn't matter where we go or where we come from. It's so weird. Crimes are because I thought that the Caribbean was more safe when I first moved here. And then I went home. Every time I go home to visit, I go like, oh my God. Because, you hear so much stories and I don't regularly keep up with the stories. But so when you go home, you get such an overwhelming amount of it. And I'm like, this place is not safe anymore. But I don't remember it being that unsafe. So no matter where we go, I grew up watching American shows and there was always carjacking, hijacking. Everybody put
carjacking. That was the word I was looking for. Carjacking.
Carjacking. I was like,
yeah.
So I was very nervous because every show you watched, everybody had guns. So in my head, before I came to America, I thought everybody had guns. Like everybody was just walking around with guns. Just because every show you watch, there's always a shooter.
Wow. Yeah. So, but on the overall, as you keep driving, when it snows, remember to always slow down. Don't run at the normal speed. Watch up that, reduce it. I know it's tempting. We want to always be to our destination before the time. So, so let's take note of that. Let's also ensure that we keep a distance between us and the next vehicle ahead of us. In other words, don't do tailgating driving. Ensure that you have some kind of emergency kit during the winter in your car. All right, these are all things that will help you.
So much stuff. There's like that little thing that you plug into your car, and it you don't even need to go to put air in your tire anymore. There's that little gadget you could just put air in your tire. There's the little gadget to break your window in case you need to get out of a car. There's so many things. Always keeping a flashlight in the back of your car, torchlight. We call them in Trinidad flashlights. They call them here. Keeping one of that in your car at all times in case of power outages. We should talk more about power outages probably next week, preparing for them.
Yeah.
This is our time for this week. Reverend, do you have any last words?
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Racine, for the time and opportunity, and we want to thank the management of Island Vibe Philly Caribbean radio station for the partnership, and of course we want to thank the Department of Philadelphia for supporting this program, for helping us to help our community to share with our community things that are concerning and things that will help build the community better. You can always reach out to us at Rising Up for Change, info@rhfc.info, info@rhfc.info. If you need information, you need direction, and you want to discuss a particular thing, reach out to us and we can share more information with you. Thank you for tonight, and we're looking forward again to joining you in your comfort zone next week, Monday.
Don't forget, if you have any questions or anything that you want us to talk about, please leave a message in the chat. And if you're playing this back and you're not listening to it live, still leave a message. We still get them. Like, you don't have to be live to be able to, send us a message. So, Reverend, I'll see you next week at 7 p.m.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting tonight and supporting us in this initiative.
Thank you guys so much. Reverend Daniel, I'm Storm Wilson, and this is Island Vibes Radio. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Broadcasting live from Philadelphia, Island Vibe, Philly's newest and hottest station.
You're listening to IslandVibes.net. All your hits banging right here. Philly #1 Caribbean station. Best in dancehall.
Undisputed champion. Heavyweight, world great. At the Met Gaza celebrate.
Call the Uber. Call the Uber now. I am coming to ya.
Reggaeton.
Algunos parecen todavía. Viven en el siglo de la hombría. Que te arregla solo para ellos. Y que pa' tu hombres de maquilla.
Johnny Soca.
Love in my heart, rum in my veins. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again.
And more.